The crunch of her body hitting my garden stones echoed louder than her lies crumbling in the weeks that followed. There she was, Cynthia Blake, the iron-fisted HOA president, sprawled in my dahlias, her pristine blazer smeared with dirt, her fancy ladder toppled beside her. For months, she'd hounded me with fines, trashed my yard, and even tried to tank my career all because my flowers didn't fit her cookie-cutter VY shown. Now, caught sneaking onto my property, her face went pale as she spotted my security cameras blinking in the dusk. This wasn't just a fall. It was the first crack in a dam holding back decades of secrets that ran deeper than our sleepy Portland streets. When I moved into Aunt Clara's old Victorian and Crestwood estates, I didn't know I'd landed in a feud older than me. The house was a gem-high ceilings, creaky hardwood, and a garden that exploded with colors you'd never see in the neighborhood's manicured lawns. As a graphic novelist, that wild beauty sparked something in me. It felt like home, even if the neighbors' whispers followed me from day one. Aunt Clara's touch was everywhere. Hand-drawn fern sketches on the walls, a greenhouse packed with plants I couldn't name, and an attic studio with skylights that seemed built for me. I'd barely unpacked when Cynthia showed up, all platinum hair and fake smiles, handing me a binder thicker than my sketchbook. Crestwood's community standards, she said, her pearl earrings glinting. We've got a reputation to uphold. Her tone screamed she didn't think I could hack it. That night, digging through Clara's things, I found her journal pages of notes about her garden and her war with Cynthia. One entry read, "She tried to rip out my lavender today. Says it's messy. She's just mad my yard won the city's garden prize." Clara's garden, a stunning rebellion against HOA rules, had made her Cynthia's enemy. Now, I'd inherited the house in the bullseye. 3 days in, I started re-VYVY-ing Clara's garden, planting her favorite orange lilies. Next morning, a neon yellow HOA notice was taped to my door. Unauthorized plants, excessive height. Due law 750 fine. When I called to protest, Cynthia's voice dripped with fake sweetness. Your aunt knew the rules and ignored them. I was kind to her because of her age. You, Ethan, you'll need to step up. That afternoon, my neighbor Liam, a quiet history professor, caught me staring at the notice. First ticket from Queen Cynthia. Huh, he said, chuckling. Over coffee, he spilled the tea. Cynthia had pushed out anyone who didn't fit her mold, including 3 minority families in 2 years, buried under endless violations. I'm only here because I've got a lawyer on speed dial, he admitted. Things got uglier fast. One night, someone doused my lilies with herbicide. By morning, they were dead. No proof, but Cynthia's smug glance over the fence said enough. I installed hidden cameras and motion lights, then replanted defiance blooming with every seed. Clara's journal hinted at more than garden grudges. I found old photos. A young Cynthia glaring as Clara held a garden award, and another of Clara facing downed, suited men with clipboards captioned, "They try to buy me out, 1988. They failed. This wasn't just about flowers, it was personal. Then Sophie, a nervous ex-HOA secretary, slipped me a postcard. Clara wants to see you. Over tea. She explained it was their code for when Clara uncovered Cynthia's dirt shady rule enforcement, missing HOA funds, and threats to anyone who resisted. Sophie said Clara had files, receipts, photos, statements. I started digging, but Cynthia upped the ante. My car got vandalized, freak artists spray-painted in red. A deepfake VY Deo of me ranting about the neighborhood went VY Ral locally, tanking my reputation. Publishers dropped me, deadlines slipped, and neighbors I'd waved to now crossed the street. Cynthia wasn't just after my garden, she wanted me gone. Desperate, I poured my anger into a secret webcomic, The Tyrant's Bloom, starring a VY Lane named Empress Thorn, a dead ringer for Cynthia. It was my therapy, posted anonymously online. To my shock, it spread, with locals sharing it, whispering how it nailed Crestwood's drama. Meanwhile, I found Clara's old garden's sensors tiny to VYCS, tracking soil and chemicals. I planted them in new flowers, legal but bold, called Angel's Trumpet. If Cynthia tried poisoning again, I'd have proof. The trap worked better than I dreamed. One morning, my phone pinged. Motion sensors caught Cynthia creeping into my yard, ladder in tow, snapping photos of my plants. I watched from the kitchen, heart pounding, as she climbed, stretched for a shot, and cracked ladder-tipped. She crashed into my flowers, shrieking, her designer hat flying. It was absurd, poetic, like the universe had scripted it. Clara would have laughed. Cynthia, sprawled in the dirt, saw me and screamed, "You pushed me. You'll pay." But my cameras showed the truth. She fell alone. Cops came fast too fast. Officer Daniels, chummy with Cynthia, barely glanced at my footage. She played the VY Tim, claiming assault, and got carted off to the hospital for injuries that turned out to be scratches. Before Leah VYing, she hissed, "This isn't over, Ethan." But my sensors had logged weeks of tampering, matching herbicide from her garage. I had her. The fallout was wild. Liam and Sophie rallied, and a journalist named Nora, who'd been sniffing around Crestwood, dropped a bombshell in the Portland Gazette. Her expose laid bare Cynthia's scams. $2 million in HOA fees funneled to her husband of VYD shady consulting firms tied to their charity, the Blake Foundation. It wasn't just Crestwood city officials were in on it, fast-tracking permits for Blake projects. The article named 23 ex-residents driven out by Cynthia's harassment, their homes snapped up by the VYD shell companies. My comic hit 10,000 followers, with Empress Thorn's ladder fall going VYRL. Cynthia fought back, suing me for $2 million, claiming my dangerous plants caused her fall. Buried in the paperwork? An offer to drop it if I sold Clara's house to her. But she'd miscalculated. At an HOA meeting, Sophie stormed in with a dozen ex-residents, each sharing stories of Cynthia's bullying. Nora revealed her press badge, cameras rolling, and announced her next story, Cynthia's racial profiling and fraud. The room turned. Neighbors ditched their support Crestwood pins. Cynthia's reign was cracking. The FBI swooped in, raiding the Blake's mansion, seizing files linking their charity to tax evasion and racketeering. The VYD took a plea deal, dodging jail but losing his tech empire. Cynthia got probation, community ser VYC, and a restraining order after my censor data and VYDOs proved her sabotage. Their house sold at a loss. The irony sharp as they'd weaponized property values against us all. My lawsuit was tossed, with Cynthia ordered to pay my fees. Clara's garden became Crestwood Commons, a community hub where kids planted natives and neighbors swapped cuttings. The HOA reformed, rules slashed to a sane 10 pages. My comic became a graphic novel, sparking a national chat about HOA abuse. Nora and I grew close, her grit matching mine, and she moved into Clara's house, our house. But one day, a postcard arrived, no sender. "You won this round, but it's not over." A photo showed me gardening, taken days ago. Someone was watching. Crestwood's scars faded, but that chill lingered. Clara's fight, my fight, had toppled a queen, but had it stirred something darker? I planted more flowers, cameras rolling, refusing to flinch. Sometimes, justice isn't a period, it's a comma, daring you to keep going. So what do you think? Was Cynthia just a control freak? Or was there something deeper VYing her? Should I have sold the house and walked away? Or was exposing her worth the risk? And that postcard ho's out there, still watching? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more stories where truth fights back. Let's keep this conversation going.